Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Only Count. I work at a fruit packing facility. We've got about 20 robots that fill boxes with fruit, and part of my job was to check that each robot was putting the correct amount of fruit in each box. Think of it like robot babysitting. Count the fruit, track which robot packed it, and make sure everything's good before it goes out. Now, obviously, robots aren't gentle. Sometimes the fruit gets damaged, sliced, crushed, or otherwise messed up. When I started, I'd log any damaged fruit in the comments section of our control sheet. I also began reporting major damage patterns to a woman from the quality team. Figured it was part of being helpful. Apparently it wasn't appreciated. This woman kept telling me, "That's not your job." Technically true, I guess, but I figured letting someone know when our robot's mangling the fruit was useful. Then one day, every robot started pumping out what looked like fruit salad. Pieces everywhere. So, doing what I thought was the right thing, I ran to report it. She stopped me mid-sentence and barked, "Your job is only to count. Count, 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 and count. That's it." She said it in the most condescending tone imaginable. So I did exactly what I was told. That entire day I counted every box. Damaged fruit didn't matter. If there were 8 mangled fruit fragments in a box, I wrote down 8, closed the box, sent it off to the export line. Not my problem. A few hours later, the export inspection team flagged tons of boxes already packed with damaged fruit. Managers came over, asking why nothing had been reported. I looked at them and, completely calm, said, "I was told my job is just to count." So I counted. Then I gestured to the quality control woman and added, "She told me, count, 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 and nothing else." The look on her face was priceless. The managers gave each other a look, then told her that yes, this position is absolutely supposed to flag damaged goods. By the end of the day, I was moved to a better department, one that actually includes quality checks, and where I now work happily. She still glares at me every time we cross paths. But hey, I was just doing exactly what I was told. The next story is called Overgrown Yard. Our yard is wild. And I don't mean unkempt. I mean intentionally cultivated native biodiversity. No lawn, no boring turf grass. Instead, we've worked hard to remove invasive species and promote drought-resistant native wildflowers. We've got driftwood logs to retain moisture, an elk skull as wildlife shelter, and more birds, bees and bunnies than any other yard on the street. It's alive and beautiful, but not a manicured golf course looking lawn. And that's kind of the point. One day we get a county violation notice. Apparently our yard is in violation of a county ordinance. My husband calls the number on the notice and gets an exhausted sounding employee who basically sighs and says, "Look, I've gotten like 30 complaints from one person about every house on your road." One person filed individual reports, house by house, using Google Maps. That's a level of petty dedication I didn't even know existed. We pulled up the actual ordinance. Everything in our yard was 100% compliant. All plants were intentionally cultivated. We actively removed non-native species. Nothing blocked sidewalks. Nothing spilled into anyone else's property. Basically, this complainer just doesn't like things that aren't cookie-cutter suburban landscaping. I did a little reading and found that our yard qualified for certification as a national wildlife habitat. So I paid the fee, filed out the paperwork, and got our official certification, framed and laminated. My husband sent a copy to that county worker, who happily closed the case and said, "Thanks for the info. This will help with future complaints." Now we have big shiny signs that say Certified Wildlife Habitat. This yard supports birds, bees and native ecosystems. And not a peep from the complainer since. The third story is called Soft Demoted. I started in my job a few months ago, and from day one, my supervisor, let's call him Josh, has been a walking micromanagement nightmare. Every piece of vague criticism starts with, "You need to improve," and ends with, "Just do better." Every time I try to clarify what he even means, Josh gives me zero specifics. I even looped in HR once to help define his expectations. Same vague answers. Then came the dress code incident. Our office is ultra casual. People wear jeans, hoodies, even baseball caps. I, by comparison, wear button-up shirts, chinos and nice sneakers. Never once worn a hat to work. Never once been sloppy. So when Josh waddles over to my desk one day and says, "You need to dress better," I once again ask him to clarify. "Do you mean dress shoes? Tucked in shirts? What's the standard you are asking for?" Predictably, he said, "Just better. Talk to HR if you are confused." So I walk into HR and ask them point blank, "What's the dress code?" Their answer, "Pants, closed-toed shoes, no sleeveless shirts." That's it. I asked if I've ever broken that code. Nope, you're good. So now I'm not just annoyed, I'm inspired. The next morning I stroll into work in a full tailored suit. I look like I'm about to give a TED talk at a hedge fund. In reality I'm just walking past Rick in accounting, who's wearing a hoodie and cargo shorts. People start visiting my desk. "What's the occasion?" I answer, but only if they ask. Josh told me to dress better. The fallout was fast. By the end of that same day, the CEO, Josh's boss, shows up at my desk. From now on, you report directly to me. I'll be speaking with Josh about this and some other things. I was Josh's only direct report, which means he's now a supervisor of no one, which makes him, well, not a supervisor anymore. I've decided I'll be wearing one of my cozy flannels tomorrow. The same ones I've wore before this whole nonsense started. The ones that HR already approved. The last story is called VTO. I've been working at my company for 5 years now. We run 12-hour shifts, and for most of that time we had something beautiful, voluntary time off. If there wasn't enough work to go around, you could just go home. No penalty, no PTO used. Just rest, relaxation and sanity preserved. But last year someone in upper management must have decided that people being happy was bad for business. VTO was gone. Now, if there's nothing to do, you either sit around bored out of your skull or burn your precious PTO just to go home early. Fast forward to this week. There's mandatory maintenance on the systems I use. That means I literally cannot do my job at all. I've brought it up to the person in charge of granting time off. They said, "There's always something to do." Cue Malicious Compliance. I'm not allowed to go home unless I use my PTO. I don't want to waste it sitting in my apartment when I could be doing literally nothing here for free. So I grab a seat in the break room, fire up my phone, put in my earbuds and start binge watching. I'm 2 full 12-hour shifts in now. Other coworkers ask if I'm bored. I say, absolutely. I'd love to go home and sleep. But since management insists I stay here and find something to do, I'm doing the only thing I can, existing on company time. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.